Welcome back to Mortgage Daddies. Today we got our boy Rob Serpa in the house.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
What's going on, buddy?
The man, the myth, the legend.
We'll go with that.
Does more activities than you and I combined.
So many activities. I feel like every single day he's doing something. He's a skier. He's going skiing.
I am too now.
Yes, you are. Yep.
I'm just the left out one, Javi. I don't know what we're going to do here. No activities.
Just trying not to be old. You already teased me enough. Just trying not to be old.
I'm Vernon. I run the top mortgage brokerage in Massachusetts with over 20 years of experience.
I'm Craig. I've done $100 million consistently since my second full year in the business, and I'm Massachusetts' top mortgage broker. We're the Mortgage Daddies, with real advice, real stories, and real results.
Let's get going.
How old are you?
51.
Jeez.
Dude, you only got 4 years
time
on
left,
me.
buddy.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of time left. I want to retire at 55, so.
He's over the hill for the mortgage game. That number has come down in the mid-40s.
Yeah, I saw
He's definitely increasing our insurance premiums.
No. My wife carries the insurance. Don't worry about that.
Oh, perfect.
I just make you money.
You can stay.
That's all I do is make you money.
You can be here till you're 80 then if that's the case.
Oh, man, if I'm still working at 80, shoot me then.
I don't know if I could not work, to be honest with you, especially in like what we do. I don't know if I could. I definitely am not retiring at 55. So
no, I'm not either.
I just don't know what I would do all day. Like I don't have all these activities like you guys have.
Yeah, but I could do these jobs during this job during.
That's what I mean.
Cut back, more balance, more skiing and other fun things.
Yeah, you guys are just talking about it. Always checking in on home, making sure
pineapples.
Just balance.
Hey, this is an open podcast, baby. We're going.
Never wearing pineapple shorts
and
again.
Swings, yeah. Pineapples and swings, yes.
Rob just has a pair of pineapple shorts for everybody. We just joke around with for wearing. So a little inside joke there.
So you got into this later in life.
I did. I was 46 when I get into this.
How was it getting into it and kind of like, I mean, I think right now you really have things going well. Can you kind of like explain a little bit of your journey?
Sure. So I got in, I left a pretty well-paying job. I was kind of wrote my own ticket where I was before and got into this at the tail end of the refi boom. So, I mean, shooting fish in the barrel. You know, I watched Dustin's episode where he was like, nope, I was told stay away from refis. I wish someone would have told me that because when refis dried up a little bit anyways, and rates went up, it was now, all right, let's focus on purchase. And I had one real estate agent that I even knew. So that was a little tough. So spent a couple of years building, made the transition here, which was, obviously pivotal for me. And then the last 2 years, just listening to coaching from you guys and just grinding some more. I've established myself pretty well. Still got more work to do, but.
What kind of numbers were you doing before you came here?
My highest year before I came here, I think was 7 mil in volume, which was 19 loans, I think, 19 loans.
And what'd you do? Is this year your best year?
Yeah, 2025 was my best year. 65 loans, 28.2 mil.
Nice work. Big
Rob. Good come up.
So 4X over 3 or 5 years.
Yep.
Come up.
Yep.
Liam said that.
Yeah, that's, Rob, we've had a couple of different loan officers in the company in here, and there's probably not many loan officers that can say, there's none in here that started, maybe Steve White, he's been on the show. They came in, started older, right? Like you and I are pretty similar in age. It's wild seeing like the 21, 22, 23-year-olds coming in. They're doing, they're grinding. They're doing like 3 to 4 loans, 1 loan a month here. And I'm a little jealous, right? That they have like 30 or 40 more years like to go at this and really learn. And, you got into it, you had kids already like growing up and bills and stuff. Hats off to like you and Steve White, like getting into the business with all these other things. You got into the business as well, with at the time, 3 kids? 2 kids. Yeah. Turned to 4 in about 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it took a lot less time to get to 4 than it did to get to 2.
I always get the question like, what's your secret sauce? Like, what am I doing for my own business? But like, explain to people how you started off, you did a bunch of refis, never really did purchases, how you went from, 7 million being your best year to last year doing 28 million. And, we haven't talked about goals for 2026, but I'm guessing that number is going to start with a 5 and have a 0 in it. That range, I think, is the goal
in that range, yeah.
I would set for you. And I think it's 100% attainable with, you're probably one of the more consistent loan officers month in, month out. You're like consistent across the board. too many times we see this, we talk about that in coaching, right?
Yep.
Like, you just want a flat line, go up a little bit, down just the hair, and then just keep kind of crawling and getting your way to the top. Because I feel like if you go in like this, nice and slow, as opposed to this, the activities that you did, and you can repeat them. What's been some of the secret sauce, as everybody's always trying to uncover, for you quadrupled your business in 2 years?
2 years.
I mean, dude, that's insane.
So, I mean, I feel like I've done a lot. So whenever I get asked this question, I feel like I have a really long answer. But ultimately, I paid attention, which sounds super easy, almost stupid to say, oh, you paid attention. Well, yeah, I paid attention. I learned from my mistakes. God knows there were a lot of them. So I learned from my mistakes. You guys helped me through some of them. But just paying attention and always wanting to know more. So the moment I learned A, B, and C, well, I was already on to D, E, and F. I've never really taken the time to stop and celebrate anything, which again also sounds a little weird, but I always wanted to learn more. So my thing when I first started was I would stay, before going to bed or whatever, or in bed, I would read guidelines. Or like, I heard this story about a firefighter or an EMT guy who was slinging loans on his laptop while working and learning guidelines and stuff. I heard that before I came here. And yeah, I'm talking about you. I learned that before I came here, and I was like, all right, well, if some guy can drive around in an ambulance learning this stuff, I can certainly sit at home and do it. So at my other job, Staples, if you're listening, thanks for giving me all that free time. But I would retreat and just learn. I was always opening something up, always learning, trying to shadow people, listen to what other people say, listen to what other people do, the successful ones, and just started forging my own way that way. And then from there, I never shut up. So I definitely talk a lot.
Bro, we do not know that here at Milestone. We do not know that. Like, we had Rob on because we're tired. We're good for the show.
Yeah. So everywhere I go, I talk about what I do. Everywhere I go. Awesome. I mean, I've written loans for my physical therapist, for my dentist, for my, nurses that have helped me wherever else. I'm just always talking about what we do here. Always. I never stop talking about this.
Definitely don't want to mess up your dentist loan.
No.
Go in the next time.
No.
Be a painful visit.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're pretty close friends too. So I definitely don't want to mess up his loans.
What do you think was one of the key? There's got to be like a key thing in there, or, a fact or a person that you kind of looked up to and you wanted to try to chase. I think, after just hearing you, it made me think of Milestone as a whole. We have a lot of different tiers of loan officers, right? Mm-hmm. We have the loan officers brand new, literally started on Monday, all the way up to Craig Snell doing 125 million. And I think that's, after hearing you, that's kind of like why we have so much success with all different types of loan officers, because I feel like there's always somebody to chase, right? And a lot 100%. Of companies, you could be the top dog at a company doing 22 million. How do you learn how to do 40 or 50, right? And I think that's one of the things that Milestone does a little bit differently. I do wish that at some point in my career, I could have told Craig that I did 200 million so I could kind of give him the blueprint on how to get to that point. But we're going to try to go and learn this ourselves in 2026. And
really let me down.
Yeah. I mean,
well, it's funny you say that. So we've got our scoreboard now, our internal scoreboard. And as you know, Steve White and I have a ton of fun with that. When other people hear us talking to each other, they probably think we hate each other, but we just have fun with it. Group text with you guys or whatever. And this year, sorry, Steve, I was able to pass him, but you guys went out and found Dustin, who I just missed. So I was like, well, if you didn't hire him, I would have been right behind Craig and Adrian. No disrespect, Dustin, love the guy. But so now this year, chasing Dustin. So yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, the competitive nature is super fun. I've learned a lot here, not just from the two of you. I mean, the one-on-one coaching that you have done with me has been amazing. And that all came from me. I honestly think I just kind of walked into your office one day kind of crying like, hey, I don't really want to go back to retail. I need some help here. So we started the coaching. And anytime I need anything, I knock on your door, and Craig and I share an office wall anyway. So I can hear you on the phone a lot. So I've been picking up little things along the way. But just when, I got here, listening to the way you guys coached everyone else, I was able to learn so much in my first couple of months here just by sitting out there when we were all in the big room together. So always having someone to chase is phenomenal. Do I want to be the guy that people chase? Sure. But I still need to be chasing someone. So
you are the guy people are chasing. You just don't realize that you already have another 40 loan officers, 50 loan officers that are chasing you every single day. And one of our jobs, and I'll just be upfront with you, is to make sure we bring in more talent so you have more people to chase. Because I don't think the chase ever ends. I mean, I wish I could go out and find somebody doing 200 million. If you're out there and you're doing 150, 200 million, please come by, join Milestone so Craig can try to chase you down. I can guarantee you, right? Just like how you have that competition internally with Steve White, right? I see that going back and forth. Honestly, it makes me so happy that there's like that. You guys have a good competition. It's friendly. But at the end of the day, I know it burns a hole in both of you because I've talked to Steve White and he's like, I'm going to lose for the year to Rob Serpa. And he had you beat 11 out of the 12
months he had me beat.
And the wheels came off the bus in the last month, baby. And
Q4, baby. We're a fourth quarter company. That's what you guys keep saying.
I mean, dude, we're finishers. We like the big finish, but I think Steve White, you think that happens in 2026? You're going to have to come out of the gates hard, Serp. Like, this is a Q1, 2, 3. I think now at Q4, this is the second year we've had the scoreboard. Mm-hmm. Second year we've done President's Club. I can't wait to see just you two battling this out because I feel like everything we saw in the end of Q4 is going to start in January.
You got Dustin there now. You got
Deanna.
Deanna's killing it. You got Keith. Yeah. Keith's gonna put some numbers up too. Yeah.
I think that he's going to be this. I say sneaky only because he's never in the office. But that's a guy, I mean, he just closed 16 loans in December.
Yeah.
So that's a guy that a lot of us are going to be chasing, I think, which is good. I like, listen, you wake up poor every day in this job and you're always going to be successful.
Yep.
You got to find your why. And, and by the way, if your why is to catch someone else who's doing really well, that also means you're going to do really well because the more loans you close, the more people you help, the more positive your reputation is, and quite frankly, the more money you make. So, bring on more people for me to try to catch. That's fine by me.
I'm looking at it this way. We just need to get that top 10, everybody doing 50 million. Because I would like, and I know Craig is in the same boat. We'd love to open up President's Club to the top 20 because you got 20 guys doing $25, $30 million a year. Like, I mean, that's the goal, right? It's just
I think we're on the pace to get there. I mean, if you take these people that we're kind of talking about that have all been semi-similar, like the year before there was 15 million that everyone was trying to hit and chase, and we had a big group that was kind of bundled in there. Some people hit it, some people didn't, but they weren't far off. This year it was 25 million and we kind of got, some people hit it, some people were just under to 20 million, and it's going to push up next year even more. And that group that we've had that's continued to build is going to continue to get more and more experience and more at bats and more opportunities, and that group's going to keep moving up, which is nice. And there's a lot of them in there, and it's not, we don't have as many at the top, or even at the bottom it's harder. But like in that group of our top, take out the top 2, take out me and Adrian, we have a lot of people that are stacked in that. It's almost to 25 million, to 20, really, right? Yep. If I remember correctly, like there's a good 15 people that a good month, one way or another, you're swinging way up and down on that. It's not like it's just a couple people. We have a lot of good meat on the bone. Like we have a lot 100%. In there,
And the camaraderie is pretty, I mean, you figure in a competitive nature like this, a competitive environment anyways, fun competitive, but competitive nonetheless. I mean, we're always helping each other out. We're always learning from each other. It seems like the more time goes on and the more, like you look at someone like Jacob Sylvia, right? Came out of the gates strong last year, and we're just hanging out, talking more about this stuff during the day. So that's one more voice that gets to come into like the group that you're talking about, just to keep talking about how to get more deals, how to meet more financial planners, real estate agents, divorce attorneys, whatever the case is.
That's probably my favorite thing that you guys all have is like, because it's not always the case, right? You could have a lot of animosity and people like very territorial. And I think we've done a pretty good job of like, you guys are always helping each other. And obviously you have us to come to too, but a lot of times you guys figure out your own ways. And I hear you guys talking all the time about things that work, didn't work, whatever, to put your own heads together to come up. And as everyone's come up, it's kind of together across the board, which has been really, really cool.
It's been a lot of fun. I mean, it's going to continue to be fun, but so far, man, it's been a wild ride. It's been awesome.
What brought you to Milestone? Like, what made you make that jump? Because you didn't move to like another company that did things like it wasn't like you went from banking to here, which or retail to here. You came from the broker side to the broker side again. What made you make that jump?
So I heard your names a lot. Being if you look at market share from a broker standpoint, Milestone there are Milestone people everywhere, whether it be open houses. Besides Craig Snell, obviously Craig Snell is a name that just rings across the South Coast. But as I knew I was going to leave, it just wasn't a good fit where I was. Nothing wrong with the place, just wasn't a good fit. I knew I was going to leave, and I did interview at a couple of retail spots. To be perfectly honest with you, I had no idea what retail was versus a broker shop. I just knew I went from big box retail management to selling mortgages, and I just thought everyone was the same, other than banks. I knew I didn't want to work at a bank. And the more I kept hearing about the competition, again, being you guys, I was like, you know what? Let me meet with Vern. Let me see what this is all about. Met with Vern, and he was nice enough to take me to a pretty nice restaurant. So if you're getting recruited, 10 Prime, I believe is what it was
took you to McDonald's?
Yeah, he took me to McDonald's.
Hey, guys,
I told you
everybody
watch spending.
Everybody knows I love McDonald's. I think we went all out. I think the person who introduced me to Rob scheduled that at a Buffalo Wild Wings, maybe?
No, that was you and me separately.
Oh.
I wanted it a little more casually the second time. But yeah, so that's what it was. I just wanted, I wanted to take a peek behind the curtain. And within 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, we were already talking about what life was already like with me here. So, I mean, kudos to Vern. It was a very assumptive close. Never asked if I wanted to join, never asked what my thoughts were. The conversation just very organically rolled into what life was like for me at Milestone. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Driving home from Providence, I was like, pretty sure that guy just closed me.
I think I started already.
Yeah, I was like, it was weird.
You your offer.
Nice work.
So I waited a week, and I said, all right. I said, I want to meet again. No disrespect to Craig, I wanted to meet with Craig really badly, but you knew people at my other shop, and I had no idea what the relationship was. So I just wanted to be respectful, And I called Vern. I was like, hey, can we meet without that other person? I said, just you and me. How about Buffalo Wild Wings? A couple of beers, some wings. And Vern came and brought a tote bag with a laptop and a t-shirt, and the laptop already had my name on it. So
can't go back.
Yeah, it's already closed. I already paid the tech guy to put it together.
So the biggest thing that brought me here, honestly, was culture. He talked a lot about the culture. I knew about Steve White. I knew about Eric Lombard, and it was cool. And then, from there, it's just been, a pretty wild ride, a very, very fun ride. But that's ultimately what brought me here. I just wanted to see what all the commotion was about, and kind of fell in love with the commotion, quite frankly.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about culture a lot, and I feel like it's like one of those just terms that people throw out. Until you're here, I don't think people really that aren't a part of Milestone or aren't close to Milestone, or even the spouses at Milestone hang out. They talk to each other. They look forward to going on a President's Club trip, or over to your house for a Christmas party, or your house for dinner or something. It's like we never get tired of seeing each other, right? Like, it's super crazy to me because I've worked other places, right? Like, I'm 47 years old. I never wanted to hang out with coworkers almost at any other job I worked at. Like, I'd always be friendly with one or two people that I worked with, hang out with them, but I'd never hang out. Now I'm going to hang out at your house with 15 Milestone people, and it's like we just sit there and we just
took over the whole living room,
shoot the shit, having fun, just laughing like it's like a Tuesday in the office.
My dogs loved you guys.
Dude, the dogs are awesome.
I love it.
I got so comfortable, I took my shoes off.
That's right.
I mean, I think it's only been 2 years that you've been at Milestone, right?
It'll actually be 3 in February.
3 in February. So 3 years, and it's been about 18 months that we rolled out the team leader spots, and you've been a team leader. Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. You've been, instrumental in guiding these, younger loan officers from, either very just starting to, now they're doubling their business, they're quadrupling their business, and seeing that, it means a lot to all of us. But, talk about the responsibility of being a team leader and, what you get out of that, right? For me, when I look at myself as a team leader, it's like, I want to see everybody grow around me. I want to see everybody successful, win, build relationships. And I see that with what you're doing with the group that you're leading.
So being a team lead, thank you for tapping me on the shoulder for that. When I came into the mortgage world, I had been a manager for so long. I was like, I don't want to manage anybody. I just want to work for me. And when you asked me about it, I wanted to pay it forward. We writes more loans than anyone we know. And he dedicates not all of his time, once a week, he dedicates an hour to train all of us. I mean, how do you not want to give back when you guys offer stuff like that? So that was huge. So being a team lead to me, it's been a lot of fun. I've got, again, talk about Jacob, I've had a little bit, I'd like to say that at some point in time, he'll look back and say, oh, Serp helped me a little bit, So it's been a lot of fun. The responsibility isn't all that crazy because you guys hire really, really good people. So when I do get, the one-on-one calls, I try to open myself up a little bit every week, kind of like I'm not a college professor, but similar to that with like office hours. And when the team takes me up on it and I take them through things and I hear that aha moment, like that to me just moves me. I'm like, all right, cool. And then I remember that aha moment. And the next time someone talks to me, I'm like, well, I was just talking to someone the other day and this really rang a bell. So I just talk about that. And it just, like I said, it excites me. And then I look at the board and I'm like, all right, well, this person didn't close any loans at all last month. They just closed 4 this month. I helped him or her out with a couple. So it's been a lot of fun. So the responsibility of it, yes, when they do call, you want to make sure you're giving the right information. But at the same time, just being able to do that this early on in my career has been huge for me. Because like I said, guys like you take time out of your lives to help me. So I'm just paying it forward to, to everybody else.
The next group coming up.
Yep.
And hopefully you can ease out of that role and go into doing $50, $100 million a year and kind of still help everybody out, but not take on that responsibility for everybody in the company. I know for a fact, I've talked to some of the people on your team. They look up to you. They love the grind. One of the things we talked about a couple times today on the podcast is just communication and holding people accountable. And I know you do that better than a lot of other people. I mean, I think that comes from your background in retail, corporate America, Staples. And, one of the big things that we talk about when you first started coaching was just time management, time blocking, calendar, and, the structure of somebody's day. It always intrigues me. I mean, I wish it was a college class or something I could just go and take about like the importance of knowing what you're going to do before you have to go do it. Right. Like it kills me when I see somebody coming in and like I'm sitting there and I'm coaching with them and I'm like, can I see your calendar? Like out of nowhere. And there's just like haircut Thursday. And I'm like, what are you doing Wednesday? What are you doing Tuesday? And it's no idea. And I didn't have to go through that with you. So thank you for that. But you said aha moment. And Serpa and I had an aha moment about 3 weeks ago. As everybody who knows that I drive up to New Hampshire probably twice a month. And I'll sit in my car for 4 hours each way by myself, calling every person I haven't talked to in the company in a hot minute. I called Serpa. We had some time to catch up, and I could hear it in his voice over the last couple of coaching sessions that I've had with him and Bobby, and I was waiting for it. I knew it was coming, and I knew it was time for Rob to have the conversation, but I wasn't going to present it to him because I wanted to have his own idea, and I wanted to make sure that I was right, that I was calling this out. And the aha moment was him calling me up asking me, I think it's time for me to have my own coaching half hour, 45 minutes with you every week and not have it be with somebody else. And I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Like I've been waiting for this for over 2 weeks to the point where we're not coaching and he picked up on this. Because after I said, have you noticed how I've been treating you in coaching? And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I haven't given you any attention. Like all my attention was focused on Bobby. And all the way to the point where he felt it. And then finally, he's like, I'm going to call and get my own coaching.
100%.
It took like 2 or 3 coaching sessions. I'm like, this guy's sitting in my office for 45 minutes. Like, I mean, I was
bitching to Bobby.
I wasn't like, totally avoiding him, right? Not like that. But it was like, I spent more time with Bobby because he already knew everything that Bobby needed to hear and learn and get coached on. So I'm like, he's going to have to come to me at one of these points and pick up on the fact that he's wasting 45 minutes of his own time, not mine, because I'm sitting there with Bobby as well. So that finally changed. Now we got, Rob on that one-on-one, but those are the type of moments, and I had these with Craig too. And I've had these with my mentors, and I had Craig, surprisingly enough, I have with like Craig's on the other side. I'm like, Jesus, I'm having aha moments, and he's probably sitting there going, I knew this guy would come around. He doesn't like text for me. He's like, oh, you still have a little bit left in the tank. Like he sent me one today. I'm like, dude, come on. Came up with that on my own on that fix a file. And he's like, oh, the
was that the easy file you guys were just talking about?
No, it's a different one. But he's like,
ship
I'm
it,
like, oh yeah, it's a good call by the underwriter. He's like, that was my idea. I'm like, okay, buddy.
Facts it was.
Ship it.
100.
Words to live by.
Ship it, baby. But yeah, I mean, dude, just hearing you and then knowing that you picked up on that and knew that you needed that separation to get to the next level, it tells me like, hey, it's go time, right? And I know you just joined Dustin Owens, and shout out to T-Lop and DL.
Yep.
Rob just got into coaching with that. So any loan officers watching the podcast, shoot over to Dio and T-Lop. Great coaching over there. I'm in that coaching program with Dustin, Rob, and a bunch of other loan officers here as well. And I'm excited for you to be a part of T-Lop. I love coaching you. I'm going to continue doing that. But I think both of those things, along with everything you do on your own, and I think that's going to get you to that $50 million plateau that you want next year. And then we start grinding from there. I mean, you got an LOA going into 2026. I mean, you started dabbling in that. So I think that's going to open up some time. And if you utilize that correctly, that's going to be a huge asset for you, right? I mean, I think it's time, right? You're not going to go from 25 to 50 without some assistance. You're not going to go from 50 to 100 without a little bit more.
Right.
And I think that's where a lot of companies have the drop off, right? Like, it pains me, but it's also not my responsibility to see other loan officers be stagnant, right? Like, we have a handful. I'm not saying that we're completely immune to it, but a loan officer doing 20 million for 3 years in a row, I just want to talk to them. Like, are you comfortable doing 20 million and making X number of dollars that 20 million is? And if the answer is yes, great job, congratulations. You're always going to close 20 million. I'm happy for you. Like, that's your goal. But if they tell me they want to do 30 or 40, or their goal is to make X, like, how are we going to get there? Like, we need to push that needle. And I think that's one thing that Craig has been able to do, is push the team leaders, and the team leaders are pushing the loan officers to always try to get better, right? Like, if we can get 5% or 10% better every year, what do we look like as a company if we never added one more loan officer or one more ops person? If we all just got 10% better every year, never mind every month or, every quarter, 10% a year. Now you're doing 32 million. Now you're doing 37 million in 28. Now, right? The numbers just keep compounding. But what happens if we can get 20 times? I mean, you've 4x your business in 3 years.
Right.
That's wild, right? Like, can you imagine if you 4x in the next 3? You're doing 120 million, right?
Try to imagine.
In 3 years, you're doing 120 million if you can just keep on that trajectory. And, the loan officers out there that jump from 25 to 50, there's a piece of that ego that goes with them. And sometimes that's what I see bringing them down. Then I see people just go straight to 100 and the ego goes away, because they're like, dude, I'm doing 100 million. I'll let my numbers speak for themselves, right? Like, and I see that now with some of the group that we have. They're doing like 15, 18, 20 million, and they have an ego. Like, you guys want to go sit in Craig's office for like an hour, maybe 2 hours? Like, you sit with somebody doing, and I think that goes back to like just having different tiers of loan officers and where they are in their career, where they want to be, and what their goal settings are. We have a big mix over here. I mean, it's wild.
We have a huge mix. And, again, this is going to, I don't know how this is going to come across, but you can't discount the coaching that you guys do either. I don't know any place that does, we got the team leads, sure. I've heard of team leads in other companies, and I've seen some of it, and it's not the same. It's not the same. One-on-one coaching with either one, not the same. Company training is not the same. So I think the more that, as leaders, if I could throw myself into that mix now, the more intense we get. Well, the more intense you guys get, the more intense we get. We definitely follow that, because it just cascades. The more intense a team gets behind us. So, adding more people to the mix, sure. But as long as we keep doing the things we're doing and we keep adding to the intensity of what we're doing, I mean, why wouldn't anyone want to come work here?
Let's go, baby. We're going to keep growing, but let's have some fun and talk about other stuff that you're passionate about. We just shot a couple of clips for Mission 22.
Yep.
It's close to your heart. I know your wife's a veteran, and you raised over $6,000, almost $7,000 for Mission 22 in 2025 by, giving $100 per closing of 65 closings you had last year for almost 28 million. So kudos to you. How'd you get involved with Mission 22?
So I'm a runner. So when we talk about hobbies and like passions and such, and one day during a run, I met a guy named Jared. He doesn't mind me saying his name. His name's Jared Lucas. He was an Army veteran. He did a couple of tours in Afghanistan, and he'll be the first to tell you that he came back with a little bit of PTSD. And he goes through, he uses jujitsu as his therapy. That's his outlet.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about this before. You're going to be fighting Javi later.
Chill.
Craig, you want a front row for that?
He's going to be busy running. He's a runner.
He's definitely a runner. He's a skier now.
I did go to your marathon.
Yes.
I didn't run
5K.
it, but
5K.
No, it was a marathon.
The 5K marathon. No, his kids did, though. Kids did a great job.
Austin and Payne did.
So just listening to him talk about what he had been through, and more importantly, what he was doing now to help others. Like, I didn't know 22 veterans and active service people a day took their own lives.
It's wild.
I mean, maybe you guys knew that before you met me. Maybe you didn't. I had no idea. And then the biggest thing that I've learned about military people is they're quiet. They're pretty humble. They don't, my wife hates when I'm out somewhere and I'm like, hey, do you offer a veteran discount? Because my wife's a veteran. She can't stand that. So Jared wasn't a big fan of that either. But the more I would run with him, the more I would hang out with him, I was like, this is just something I want to be a part of. I knew I wanted to be a part of something. When I was younger, when my kids were younger, I was a coach, right? I was a hockey coach. I helped my daughter's soccer team with like strength and conditioning and stuff. And then when they aged out of that, I didn't really have anything. I wasn't going to go to the rink and be like, hey, I just want to coach some kids. I'm not pro hockey, I'm not your dad. I don't have that pedigree, So this was just something that, came along, and I just, like I said, had a passion for it. Jared's one of my closest friends. Started just joining him at events. And then from there, I was like, well, I think I could probably like take on a little bit of a leadership role here. I didn't really think the word leadership. I just kept thinking of it as doing more and doing more and doing more. And then we created a board, and I was on the board handling all the marketing and stuff. And then I was like, yeah, I think a 5K would be a great idea. Someone else kind of mentioned it.
Should have picked a 1K, then I would have done it.
I'm not sure I would have.
We're going to have a kids 1 mile run, like a fun run next year. There's no charge for that.
You have to do the whole mile.
I drive the first 3/4.
It's around the corn maze at Buzzards Brewing. So I don't know if it's a whole mile, but yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, it just really moved me. And once you hear that 22 a day, and then I met more and more people that suffered from PTSD, and I just figured, all right, this is what I'm going to do. And someone at the beginning of last year challenged me to do something. I don't know if you used the word epic or what it was, but during coaching, you were like, all right, we got to do something to get you on the map. And I said, well, I really love helping veterans. I'm not going to say I know the most about VA loans, but I definitely know a lot. So you said, all right, well, Craig and I did something a few years back where we decided to donate X amount of dollars for every closing. I said, I could do that. No problem. I can do that. 65 loans later, I was like, damn. All right,
much different than that 19-year closing 2 or 3 years ago.
But
yeah, like I said, it's been fun. So
I will say, I love what you do, and a huge supporter of veterans. I've worked around a ton of them. I have a lot of respect for them. I think it's great that you do that and you put all that work into it. But I will tell you, it has gotten you loans as well.
100%.
So when you give back, you get back too. Yep. I know people that have told me like, oh yeah, I went to Rob. I was like, why'd you go? Not in a bad way, just curious. Like what drove you to Rob? Well, I know that he does the Mission 22 thing, and I think so. It works on both ends. I know that's not why you did it, but it's awesome to hear that, it did come back. So even the money you did donate made you the money and then some, right. I'm sure.
No, thank you. I appreciate that.
Even as you're climbing as a leader in the company at Milestone, when I told you that Craig and I did that back in, I think it was 2020 or 21, where we gave out almost, I thought close to 100,000, I think it was.
It might have been 21.
21 maybe. We gave about whatever it was, $100,000 to 4 different nonprofits here on the South Coast. I tell people in the company that, so they just get out, give back, and do what you've been doing, right? Like telling everybody on your team, like, hey, you leading the way to do that. There's somebody on your team that's looking up to you and going, hey, I want to go, and what am I passionate about? X, Y, and Z, United Way, whatever it may be. For me, it's always been, financial literacy, which is awesome because I ended up in the mortgage business. But, like junior achievement, no one teaches kids how to balance a checkbook, interest rates, credit cards, how they work. Yep. So you graduate high school or college, I don't care, you go to college. 99% of those kids don't know how money operates, right? I would love to see Milestone as a company, every single person doing something with a nonprofit or just giving back in some capacity. And it doesn't have to be money, right? It's time. Like you said, you started volunteering, you're running with them, you're going to their events, you're supporting them that way. There's a lot of different ways everybody can help. It's just, seeing that from, my bird's eye lens, being like, okay, look, we're building something really here. And it goes back to the culture, right? Like if you see Craig at events and donating, and we've gone and built houses and fixed up houses for Habitat for Humanity and gone and cleaned up the woods and houses and painted stuff. I'm not going to lie. It's not awesome doing all that manual labor on like a hot summer day, but it feels really good after, right? How you feel about yourself. So, dude, kudos to you, man, because that was a big thing for you to do in 2025. And I know you already got some stuff up your sleeve for 2026 to
What are
get
you
back
doing
to
for
the community.
26?
So
Can't go back now. Got to double it.
bringing back the 5K.
Yeah.
So we're going to bring back the 5K for a third year. Going to make it bigger this year. Going to make it bigger. I'm not going to say I'm going to add a 10K. If I have the opportunity to add 10K, it just opens up the door to a bigger, more of the running community. Yeah. So that would be nice because that means more money for Mission 22. But my goal this year for the race itself, last year we raised just under 20 grand. My goal for the race this year will be to go to 30 grand. So again, got some ideas in mind, and I'll be sponsoring that myself. If Craig or everyone want to help, that's great. But yeah, so that'll be big. Adding things like the 1 mile run for the kids, the fun run for the kids. While that doesn't add money, it makes it more of a family event. Like you guys all came out this year, and that was awesome. I think everybody from the New Bedford office was there, including.
Yeah, it was a huge turnout.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I mean, we had loan officers from the North Shore, Boston area coming in.
TK came down from Boston. It was fantastic. And that was, even though not everyone ran, that was that much more exposure. That was that many more people buying t-shirts. So now everyone's walking around with Mission 22 t-shirts. Yeah. That was that many more raffle prizes. I mean, you guys had a lot of fun with the raffle prizes. Your kids were dragging you up there every 5 seconds. So that all adds to it.
Pretty sure I had to bribe someone to get the Peyton the thing she wanted.
You did.
That was awesome. Rob shows up. He's like, "Hey, you guys won this." I'm like, "We already left."
Yeah,
that's right. Drove to your house.
That was a really fun event. I'm glad I went. I was able to make it. The year before, I wasn't around, but it was cool. I definitely.
That's right, yeah, you were away the year before.
Yeah, maybe I'll run it next year.
And that's the key, right? Is getting people out there that one time. Because once they go that one time, now they're hooked. They're like, "Hey, when's that event coming back up?"
It's just fun. Like my kids didn't even want to leave. Yeah, like we were there for hours after.
If it wasn't for that wind coming in, we would have stayed till 6 o'clock.
Maybe do it a little earlier in the year. so cold,
still warmer.
It's a whole Veterans Day thing, but yeah, I mean, look at Rachel.
We'll move around.
Rachel came out year one and she walked the whole thing and she ran across the finish line. I mean, she had a much better time. So I'm thinking Jared pushed her a little bit out there.
For anybody watching, I do have a video. You guys can Venmo me. I'll send you the video of Rachel running across the finish line. I showed it to her the other day. I found it on my phone. I didn't know I had it. It's all time. It's all time. We'll start the bidding at $1.
I will say that we'll be throwing in shirts next year. So it'll be the first time that we throw in shirts. Awesome. Again, so I'm going to be dedicating money to that. So obviously the main sponsor on the back will be Milestone Mortgage Solutions. My name might or may not be on it. But anyone out there watching this pod, you want to get in on the, again, here's me talking as always. You want to get in on the sponsorship for the race next year. There'll be, I want to say we had 240 runners this year. Goal next year is obviously 500 runners. So that's 500 people running around Westport with your names on their back.
That's awesome. Sweet, man. Yeah. We're looking forward to sponsoring that too. So whatever you need on our end, we'd be more than happy to assist.
Awesome. Sweet. Sure, you heard it here first.
Committed. It's on the podcast. We got to do it. I mean, me and Craig had a podcast where we were talking about losing a bunch of weight and jumping on scales.
Yeah, we did it. We luckily just forgot to do the follow through.
You gave out a pair of Nikes or something too, right?
Yeah, probably.
But my man, it was a pleasure. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
Honestly, man, you're a perfect fit. I'm glad you came over to Milestone and looking forward to see what you can do in 26 and many more years because I don't think you're ready to retire just yet.
No, not yet, man. Thank you for all the support. Love being here.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, sir.
See you guys.
Thank you.